be calculating your time complexity, whether it is an efficient, whether we can calculate all those things, everything we will be checking, and we are going to perform the operation. A good decision tree should be a short and ask only for the few meaningful questions. So there are various cases, they are widely used. So whether whatever the thing you are going to do, for example, for in your question paper, they have asked for 2 marks question, means you need to write an answer only for the 2 marks. How much it is there? You should not write 2 pages of your answers. Like that, means whatever the answer, whatever the question they have asked for that particular required questions, you need to answer that particular suitable cases. In this particular decision tree also, whatever the question they are going to arise with respect to your how you are going to have the data, how you are going to store the data, how you are going to load the data, how you are going to calculate the data, it should be short enough to answer that particular question. So the decision trees can generate a knowledge from the past few instances. That means that without the knowledge of that particular thing, you can't solve that particular problem. For example, if certain client or certain customers, they are going to tell to develop a product, whenever they are going to tell you to develop the product. So if they are going to tell to develop with respect to DBMS language, or they may tell to use Python, so you should have a knowledge with respect to the Python subject, or you should have the knowledge with respect to your DBMS concept, all those things. Without the knowledge of your programming language, it is difficult to develop a product. Once you are going to develop a product, it is difficult to convince the customer what according his requirement is there, what knowledge we have to check, everything will be matter there. In the decision tree also, we need to know what knowledge the data we are going to apply in this particular case, what operations they are going to consider, what are the things we need to do along with the weight also. For example, few data will be having a light weighted, few data will be having a more weight. So each and every test we need to check, and we need to allow the data to perform the operations. So the decision trees are used mostly to answer a relatively simply binary decisions. Okay. So this is what some case study they have taken. What this case study they have taken is, student was done, okay, some survey, some case study they have done. In this particular case study, they are going to make a survey in such a way that the patient were diagnosed with a heart attack from the chest pain, okay, diagnosed by the EKG with higher enzyme level in the heart muscle and so on. The main objective is to what, to predict which of this patient was at the risk of dying from the second heart attack within the 30 days. That means that already has got one time heart attack with the chest pain. They are going to make a survey in such a way that they are going to check other this one, all those things, and they are going to make a survey whether that particular person will get the second heart attack. This one, the prediction would determine the treatment plan such that whether to keep the patient in an IC or not. So the next case is, for example, if he is more than 65 years or more than 70 years, means if you keep it in your ICU, means it is difficult. So for example, if that particular guy is 30 years or 35 years, means if you keep in the IC, so that what I want to say, whatever the medicines or whatever the treatment they are going to give, the body has to sustain that particular case. If older case, means it is difficult to support that all those things. For each patient, more than 100 variables were collected, including demographical, medical history, lab data. Using the data in the CART algorithm, decision tree would be calculated. So this is what the question they have asked. For this particular question, how they are going to arise the solution means, first thing, the decision tree shows that we need to know the BP, that is nothing but a blood pressure was low, less than or equal to 90. First we have to check whether the BP is low, that is less than or equal to 90. The chance of another heart attack will be very high. This is what the first solution they will be giving. First they are going to check the BP. If the BP is less than or equal to 90, means you will be having a 70% risk, that is nothing but heart attack you may get. If the patient's BP is okay, the next question was to ask the patient age. Okay, if the BP is normal, the everything is normal, so the next question arises is, we need to check the age of the patient. Okay, if the age of the patient was less than or equal to 62, then the patient survival was almost guaranteed. So we will be checking the age also. If that particular age is less than or equal to 62, the patient can easily survive. We can give the guarantee, 98% they are giving that guarantee. If the age was higher, then the next question was to ask about the sinus problem. So next they are going to check with respect to the one more treatment, what we need to do, all those things. So if sinus is also okay, the chance of the survival was only 89%. So that means that they are going to take the probability, I can say it as what probability, they will be checking and they are going to calculate the chance of survival dropping to the 50%. The decision tree predict 86% to the particular cases. Like that, what they are going to do, they are going to give one particular case study like this one. So we have to write in such a way that decision. For example, if you see in the previous example means we will be checking the BP. If BP is okay, so will be there. If BP is not okay, they are going to check one more treatment. In that particular treatment, you will be having another two possible cases, yes or no. If it is yes, they are going to move ahead. If it is no, they are going to do. Next is decision tree problem. Image A, conversion between a doctor and the patient. This is what the conversion between the doctor and the patient. The doctor asks the question to determine the cause of an alignment. The doctor would continue to ask till he or she is able to recover at a reasonable decision. It's nothing seems pleasurable, or might she recommended some test to be generated more data on the this one. See, one more thing I want to tell you that whenever you're going to make a conversation with the doctor will easily judge whether the patient can easily survive with respect to that particular diseases or not. If not means he will be telling some other possible cases, what are the things to be done, all those things. If yes means you are going to give an assurance. So in this particular case, they use decision trees or the decision rules. For each question what they are going to ask, the potential answer, we will be having separate branches for further questioning. For each branch, the expert would know how to proceed, and we are going to continue until the tree is reached. So in this particular case, what I want to say is past experience we are going to make. That means that whenever we are going to solve any problem, all those things with respect to the data, we are going to make the past survey. For example, what they have taken in this particular case example means there is a conversion between the doctor and the patient. Okay. So in this particular case, whatever the doctor experience is having, for example, let us consider doctor got 20 years experience, or doctor is having 20 years experience or 15 years experience. Based upon that particular experiences, he will be knowing that he has seen many cases, all those things. So whether we can survive the patient, all those things he will be knowing each and everything. In this particular case, that means that they will be having some past experiences with respect to that particular data. Based upon that, they are going to give the treatment with respect to how they are going to extract the knowledge and how we are going to make the rules from it, all those things. Next is the decision tree problem. The decision tree would have been predictive accuracy based on how often it makes the current decision. The more training data, whatever the data you're going to provide, we need to have an accurate knowledge extraction will be there, and accurate decision will be taken. That means that, for example, one more real-time example I am going to give. You will be completing your BE in your college and you will be going to the working environment. For example, let us consider you are placed in Infosys or you are placed in TCS. Once if you are going to join to the company, immediately there will not be put to your project. They will not put to the project. That means that they are going to give a training. That means that they are going to give 1 month or 2 months to settle, to get adjust with respect to that particular environment. The training is more important for you. Most of the cases I used to tell you that in your BE, 98% you used to study only the theory part. 2% you are going to study only the practical. But in the companies, 98% you are going to study with respect to the practical cases, only 2% will arise as only the theory part. That means that more important is hands-on session will be there. So that you are going to get the more knowledge, so that you will get adjust to that particular environment, all those things will be there. The more training data we are going to provide, so the more accurate knowledge extractions will be there. Okay, that it will make a more accurate decision. The more variable the trees can choose from, the trees will be out with a better higher accuracy. So how much, for example, how much hard work you are going to put, that much of benefit you are going to get it in your marks. I'll repeat once again, how much hard work you are going to put in your studies, that much of benefit you are going to get it in your result. For example, you may get, if you put more hard work, you may get your CGPA more than 9.5. If you are going to put less hard work, so that you may get your CGPA 7 range. Like that, whatever the thing you are going to perform with respect to the data operation, so how you are going to perform the data, how useful you are going to make that particular data, that much of accuracy you will be getting the data. In addition, a good decision tree should also be a frugal, so that it takes the least number of the question, least amount of the efforts to get a right decision. This is what some example we have taken. Let us consider some outdoor game is there. Let us consider tennis. So they want to play the tennis. So before playing the tennis, they are going to check the weather condition. They will be checking the weather condition. That is nothing but an atmospheric condition they are going to check. So whenever you are going to check with respect to your atmospheric condition, you will be checking in terms of outlook. You are going to check in terms of temperature. You are going to check in terms of humidity. You are going to check in terms of windy. So if all the such cases, if it is matching, so finally we will be telling the decision whether to play or not. If everything is fine, if everything is okay, then automatically they are going to play the game. If not, they will not play the game. To answer that particular question, one should look at the past experience and see what the decision. Once again, they will be telling that they have to look with respect to past experiences. For example, many cases you will be looking that most of the cases what we will be looking now human beings. Let that particular problem let comes to me. After that, we will face the decision. What the intelligent guy will do now? He will see the problem with respect to the others. He will get the solution from him. That means that that particular problem you should not arise this to him. By seeing other problem, he will become more intelligent. That means that whatever the past experience you are going to consider, in which how you are going to make a decision, how you are going to create a data in your databases, everything matters there. Probably will be checking. This is what we will be solving the problem. Almost send you the video, one particular link to your group, so that if you see this particular link, so that you will be getting the decision. So most of the cases, most they told that this concept comes under decision tree under your machine learning concept also. Machine learning you have studied in your decision tree along with the lab programs, all those things you have come across, so that you will be having the knowledge with respect to decision tree, all those things. The next part is nothing but a regression. The next part is nothing but what we will be saying as what regression. Regression is also a well-known statistical technique. So in this particular case, most of the cases we are going to make use of mathematical techniques here. So mathematical is nothing but a statistics concept we will be making here. So in which we are going to make a predictive relationship between your several variables. So we are going to consider, for example, if you want to write addition of two numbers program, in that particular case we will be using the variables. We are going to declare the variables a comma b comma. So in that particular variables, if you're going to assign the value a is equal to some value, b is equal to some value, so we will be providing the values. In this particular case also, regression is also a well-known statistical technique to model predictive relationship. That means that we will be looking with respect to the variables. So with whether the variables are is a dependent variable or whether it is an independent variable. So in that particular thing, we are going to make a relationship. So I told that generally the regression we will be making use of mathematical concept. Mathematical is nothing but a statistics concept. Statistics is nothing but basically we are going to deal with respect to certain symbols. For example, summation you may use, or delta you may use. Some mathematical notations or the statistics concept we will be making use with respect to your regression concept. The objective is to find the best fitting curve for the dependent variable in a multidimensional space. So in this particular case, what you are going to do, what are the things to be done? So everything we will be checking in the multidimensional space. So in which each independent variable will be having a dimension. In this particular case also we are going to plot the curve. We are going to plot the graph. In that particular graph, we will be checking that whether whatever the graph you are going to generate, whether the curve could be a straight line or non-linear. Most of the cases you will be seeing that whenever you are going to plot any graph, all those things, you will be having ups and downs. That means that one time it will be increasing, one time it will be decreasing, one time it will be increasing, one time it will be decreasing. So when what they are going to tell, whether whatever the thing you are going to solve that particular data, it should have a consistency. Consistency means each thing whenever you are going to plot, so it should not get any changes with respect to that particular case. All those things we will be checking and we are going to perform the operation. The quality of the fit of the curve of the data can be measured by the coefficient of the relation. So we will be using the coefficient of a relation R, which is the square root of the amount of the variance explained by the curve. So there are various cases or there are various measures we will be using. So to find out the coefficient of the relation, we will be using certain notations and we will be using certain formulas, all those things. The next point is the key regression for the some of the steps we are going to follow for the regression. First is List all the variables which are available making the model. We will be, I told you that the variables, it can be your dependent variables or it can have your independent variables. Next is it can establish a dependent variables of an interest. So they will be causing more accuracy. They will be having much more possible cases. They are going to check whether we will be following the variables or not, all those things. Next is exam visual relationship between the variables of the interest. We will be calculating what relationships you are going to get, how you are going to form a relationships, all those things we will be checking. Find a way to predict a dependent variable using the other variables. So the next part what you are going to discuss is correlations and the relationship. Statistical relationships are about which element of the data hang together. That means that we will be forming with respect to the groups, all those things, whatever the data you are going to get, we will be forming one particular group and we are going to perform the operation. So there are various cases you will be getting. So I told you that let us consider in your college, if you want to find out an ATM, so that you will be finding the nearest place where you are going to get an ATM. So for example, the ATM is there in near to your college also. Near Vidyanagar Cross is also ATM is there. Near to your home also ATM is there. But we are going to form one particular centroid. So in that particular centroid, we will be forming with respect to the which are the nearest elements is there. All those things we will be forming one particular group there. It is about categorizing the variable that have a relationship with one another and categorizing the variable that are distincted and unrelated to the other variable. So you will be having a significant positive relationship. You will be having a significant positive relationship and significant negative difference you will be having. So the next part what we are going to discuss is correlations. The first and the foremost, we are going to calculate the measure of the strength of the relationship is in the correlation. So in that particular case, we are going to check whether it is a quantitatively or whether it is a qualitatively measure we need to follow. And we will be having a range from 0 to 1. So we will be calculating the range from 0 to 1, we will be checking. If the correlation of an 1 indicates that if correlation is 1, then we are going to say it as what? It is a perfect relationship. I'll repeat once again. You will be getting two possible cases. Whatever the output you are going to get, you will be getting in terms of two possible cases in that particular range. Either you may get 0 or you may get 1. If you are going to get 1, so we will be telling that it is a perfect relationship. Whatever the variables you are going to consider, it is perfectly matching with the synchronization, all those things. The correlations of 0, if you are going to arise 0, indicates that there is no relationship between your variables. Just like your true or false, that's all. Next is relationship. The relationship can be a positive or it can be your inverse relationship. It can be a positive or it can be your inverse relationship. The variables may move together in the same directions or it may move it in an opposite direction. So in this particular case also, whatever the data we are going to arise or whatever the variables we are going to send, we need to perform an operation in terms of your same direction or you may perform in terms of your opposite direction. If you are going to perform in terms of your direction part, so if it is moving with respect to the same direction, means we are going to specify the r value as 1. I'll repeat once again. So if you are going to have the relation, whatever the values you are going to consider, if it is having in the same direction, we will be giving the value 1. If you have an opposite direction, so that you are going to give it as what? -1. Next is correlationships and the relationship. We are going to match what is the correlationships and what the relationship. Given two numerical values x and y. Given two numerical variables we are going to consider x and y. So the coefficient of the correlation r is a mathematically computed by the equation. In this particular case, x bar is a mean of your x, x bar is a mean of your x, y bar is a mean of your y. So we are going to consider here. So you will be having a formula to calculate your correlation. This is what the formula we will be looking. So whenever it comes to the relation particular chart, so two things arises in your mind. Finding nearer to that particular whatever the dots you're going to get now, you may find nearer or you may find far. That means that so whatever the data you're going to get, we will be calculating whether the data is nearest or whether it is far away from that particular distance or whether it is matching the relation or whether it is not matching any relationships or not, we will be checking. Next is regression exercise. In this particular model, we are going to describe as a linear equation. So in this particular case, we will be having two things. One is a dependent variable and one more is your independent variable. Why is your dependent variable? In that is whatever the variables you are going to consider, we are going to check whether it is dependent or whether it is not dependent, all those things. So in this particular case, if you are going to check whatever the predictor variables you are going to get, that is nothing but your y is nothing but it is dependent on your x value. Whatever the y output you are going to get, that y will be depending on your x value. This is what another one thing they have given an example, that is nothing but we are going to predict an house price. So house price from the size of your house. For example, if you have less square feet means you will be having less price. Whenever it is more, you are going to get means more prices you will be arising. This is what an example they have taken. Next is nothing but your non-linear regression. Next is nothing but your non-linear regression part. To the relationship between the variables may also be a curvilinear. In that particular case, they have taken a relationship between the temperature and the electricity consumption. So in this particular case, we will be mapping and we are going to arrive the solution. Next part, we are going to form it as what? Cluster analysis. The cluster analysis is mainly used for the automatic identification of the natural grouping of a things. So in this particular case, I told you that how if you are going to perform the operations in the data, we will be checking in which data you are going to perform the operation, whether you are going to perform the data in the linear or whether it is a non-linear. We will be checking whatever the operations you may perform. First, they are going to form one particular grouping of that particular things. For that particular grouping, they are going to apply the technique called segmentation technique. In this particular technique, the data instances that are similar to or nearer, which are categorized into one particular cluster. So the data instances that are very different or far away from each other, we will be moving into the different clusters. So we will be having various cases. So in that particular case, we are going to check whether the data is nearer or whether the data is far away from that particular cluster. All those things. Cluster is an unsupervised learning. So there is no dependent whether we will be checking where whatever the predictions you are going to make with respect to that particular technique. So whether there is no output or the dependent variable you are going to get, in which that particular case we are going to check whether the answer it can be computed or not. The correct number of the clusters or the definitions of the cluster is not known ahead of the time. So in this particular case also, so there are wide quantities we will be using, there are wide things we will be checking the above cases. There are many cases you are going to get how you are going to observe the user in which the cluster will be having the characteristics of that particular data. We will be checking each and everything and we are going to perform the operational part. Okay. So this is what some examples they have taken. So if you see in this particular case, you will be having a group. So if you are going to see this particular diagram, you will be getting three groups here. That means that whatever the data they have allocated, you are going to get which are nearer, which are farer, which are neighboring. That means that they are going to form one particular group. In that particular group, they are going to arise us and they are going to get the solution. These are the few applications of your cluster analysis. That means we can use for your market segmentation or product profile or the text mining, all those things. Next is nothing but your techniques. So when it comes to the techniques, you are going to make use with respect to your maximized decision, or you may use with respect to minimized decision. Whenever you are going to make use of maximized decision, you will be getting in terms of inter-cluster distance. Inter-cluster distance. If it is minimized means you are going to get what? Intra-cluster distance you will be getting. So these are some pseudocode. They have made a relationship. They have taken x and y, so related. We will be plotting the graphs. What all will does. These are the advantages and disadvantages of your k-mean algorithm. So it is simple, easy to understand, and easy to implement. So whatever the algorithms we are going to generate, it is simple, and it is easy to understand. It is easy to implement. It is also an efficient in which the time taken to the cluster K means rises linearly with the number of the data points. There are various causes or there are various data you are going to have. We will be having an checking whether whatever the data you are going to get, whether it is efficient data or whether it is not getting the efficient data, so all those things, and we are going to plot this particular data. No other clustering algorithm they are going to perform better than the key means in the general. There are various disadvantages of your k-mean algorithm is we will be checking that the user needs to specify an initial values of the k values, and we are going to process of finding the clusters may not have the coverage. It may be not having a suitable for discovering the cluster which is hyper upload this one. So this is what an example. The next part is nothing but your artificial neural network. So generally in the artificial neural network, we will be discussing with respect to information processing. That is nothing but you are going to get an information, various neurons, and it will be performing the operations. So some of the business applications. So we will be using summations and the transformation concepts here. We are going to develop an AN. To develop an AN, first we are going to gather the data. We are going to select the network architecture such as feed forward network. So next thing is we are going to select an algorithm. Next is network parameter. Train the ANN with the training data. Validate the model with the validation model. Next is freeze the weight and the other parameter. We are going to test the data. Next is association rule mining. So in the association rule mining, it is an unsupervised learning technique. Basically, we will be using for the shopping patterns, all those things. Market-based analysis. Epinor algorithm, this I'll do it after your second IA. Okay. So if any student, if you got any doubts, you can ask me. So remaining topics, I'm going to continue after your second IA. If any student, if anything you want to discuss, you can discuss. Meenakshi?
No, sir.
Any other students? If anything you want to ask, if anything you want to discuss,